Okay, get back to your beanbag. So, quick disclaimers here. I'm going to make it as quick, as simple, and as efficient as possible. Number 1! This video is only about the season 1 of Arcane. No spoilers, no references, no nothing related to season 2. Everything I say here is based on notes and voice recordings I took before watching season 2. And if I happen to say anything that reminds you of what would happen in season 2, it's purely based on speculation or theories at the time, or just a coincidence. Number 2. I love Arcane. I am obviously biased from all the content I've seen about it, and I have my favorites, but obviously I will do my best to be as objective as possible and reference all the creators I mentioned in my videos. Whoa, that was much quicker than the first time. Okay, let's go. So today we're going to be talking about the bros. Yes. To me, it makes sense to gather these two characters in the same videos, since their presence in the first season starts and ends at the same time, and I didn't really know if I had a lot to say about them individually. So there it is! First off, let's start with Claggor. Also, I'm French, so please excuse me if I can't pronounce his name right. It's very hard. Like, I'm doing my best, but yeah. Honestly, Claggor, it feels like he's kind of the big brother of the group. Technically, he's younger than Vi, but he is kind of the older or the oldest middle child, if I can say it like that. And he is like the big brother we can rely on the most, you know? Hence why after the explosion of Jace's lab, once Vander had his little talk with Vi, he took Claggor with him to go to Benzo's shop. Not only he appears as the strongest physically, which, I mean, like, do I need to explain it? Bro literally broke a wall. But also because among the others, and when I say the others, I mean like Powder and Mylo, he definitely is the most reliable one. He is quiet, he follows order, he cares about the youngers, and he isn't judgmental. Unlike Mylo, he appears as more cautious and more reasonable than the others. For example, when he questions Vi about her plan before they break into Jace's lab, or even when he was the one to ask Echo where he got the information from, you know? And speaking of Echo, in terms of relationship, we can also highlight the fact that besides Vi and Powder in a very few occurrences, Claggor is the only kid we directly saw interact with him. I think we could easily say that Claggor might be one of the closest kids to Echo, or at the very least he's closer to him than Mylo is, in my opinion. And to prove my point, let's see where else we can find Claggor, or an alternative version of him, related to Echo around the League of Legends universe. And yes, I'm going there. In 2022, League extended their Star Guardian alternative universe, adding Echo in the 2022 lineup. And guess who is related to Echo's lore? Spoiler alert. Yes, it is Claggor. Yes, this Claggor, and he plays a pretty big role in Echo's personal journey and his motivation in that universe. But that's not all. If you know a little bit about Echo's original lore before the dev just had this terrible idea to retcon everything and decide that Arcane is now the official lore. Sorry. You would notice something very similar between his Star Guardian lore and his original lore. Long story short, the original Echo from League has a childhood friend who is extremely important to his story, and if I show you what his friend named Aduna looked like, I bet he reminds you of someone. Coincidence? I think not. Especially since the fate of these two characters is a little too similar in my opinion, and this special bond to Echo, it makes me really think that it has been carefully thought through. But what do I know? Alright, next we have Mylo. So if Claggor appears as a more responsible and reliable big brother, Mylo is the real middle child. I mean, he's constantly trying to prove himself in front of others. He shows off in front of the group of, the little thugs they had a brawl with. He runs his mouth in a pretty carefree manner, even when he's in front of enforcers. He's mean with Powder, often bullying and belittling her. He's probably bored to have to drag this awkward little sister in their adventures, despite the fact that, to be fully honest, he isn't that much better than her. Besides blockpicking, there isn't any skills that he masters or he's very good at. He's a little coward. Like, he literally jumps when Powder appears behind him. He's bad at shooting. He loses his cool pretty quickly in stressful situations. For example, when he needed to free Vander from his cuffs. And he's the type to jump straight ahead in a situation without even thinking through it. He has a big ego preventing him from acknowledging his own mistakes and weaknesses. This very big ego that pushes him to bully Powder, maybe because he sees his own weakness in her, maybe because he wants to prove himself that he's better than her. In any case, this bullying kept going through Jinx's hallucinations, proving the real impact he had on Powder. After all, he was the first one to call her a Jinx. Another similarity that I found between Pow and Mylo is their common admiration and respect they have for Vi. They both seek for her approbation and want to make her proud. Same goes for Vander. Mylo wants to impress him as well. And I will dive a little deeper into Vander's father-like role when I'll get to his video, but there are some very interesting things to point at. I have a little fun fact about Mylo. When I first watched Arcane with my mom and made her discover the series, when she saw Mylo, the first thing she asked is if Mylo was Vi, and I corrected her saying it was Mylo, and she said, yeah, I like him. I bet you can guess how I gripped my seat until the infamous third episode. Before my mom lashed out. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, I guess that's it for the bros. This video is pretty short, and I think it's the shortest video I've ever done so far. I didn't have much to say about these characters, but I think I'll probably mention them a little more, like I said in videos such as Vander's or Jinx's one. So this will come to complete this video about them. And yeah, I feel like it's not that bad to have a shorter video, especially since the next one is going to be, longer. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my yapping session. Feel free to share your thoughts on the video in the comment section. If you want to see more of my content, you can take a look at my YouTube channel. And by the way, let me remind you that if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll join the club of the super cool people called the Golden Potatoes, and it gives you extra charisma points. It is proven. If you want to say hi, you can do it in the comment section or elsewhere on my other social medias. Everything is in my link tree down in the description box. And if you want to support me, I have a Ko-fi link in the description box as well, where you can give me a tip. Of course, it is if you want to and if you can. Either way, I am so happy that you watched my video, and it already is a lot for me. So thank you so much. And by the way, if you want to see more updates on what I'm working on at the moment or what I plan to do, whether it's drawing related or YouTube related, I give you free updates on my Ko-fi as well. Like I said, link in the description box. Thank you for coming. I'll see you in the next video, and I give you a very big kiss on your forehead.